first. Now, not to the detriment. Listen to this, not to the detriment of your bills, getting behind on bills or getting behind on anything that's going to hit or impact your credit and credit score, not to the detriment of those, but you want to go ahead and you want to save yourself, set it up on automatic and do it that way. It's just a different mindset. It's just a different mindset. Instead of paying your bills first and paying Tom, Dick, and Hank first, you want to go ahead and make sure that you put yourself on the top of that list. All right, so let's jump to the question of the day right quick. And before I do that, I got to give out a couple more shout outs. So I want to shout out Nicole Lee. She celebrated her birthday earlier in the week. So happy birthday to you. I got to shout out Chris Henderson as well. Happy birthday to you, a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Happy birthday to you. And then I got a shout out to Erica Griffin as well. She celebrated her birthday. And I want to shout out Richard Penner, one of my frat brothers. Happy birthday to you, yo Richard. So let's jump into the question of the day. Question of the day is brought to you by Cute as a Cupcake, the cupcakery and bake shop where the cupcakes are more than just cute, they're delicious. Get by Cute as a Cupcake, which is located at 2008 West 81st in Maryville, Indiana. Get by Cute as a Cupcake and let them know that the 800 credit score man sent you. All right, so let's get into this question. So the question came from Earl. Earl is out of the great state of Illinois. And his question is this: how are charge card balances reflected in your debt utilization? Very good question. I talk about it often. I think Earl is probably new to the show, so he's going to come back and listen to all the shows that I've done. But yes, Earl, thank you so much for your question. You can contact me any place. Earl actually sent me this message through LinkedIn, so you can contact me at any place. You want to catch me, send me an email at 800 creditscoreman@gmail.com. Send me an email there. You can inbox me on Facebook with my 800 Credit Score Man page. You can join the Facebook group Credit Score Comeback. Lots going on in there, talking every week, all week about different scenarios, what's going on, people pulling up their own specific situations and asking the entire group, hey, what do you do about this situation? So get in the Credit Score Comeback group on Facebook, and then I'm also on Instagram as 800 Credit Score Man on Instagram. You can send me a message there as well. So back to Earl. Earl said, so how are charge card balances reflected in your debt utilization? Anybody that listens to this show on a regular basis knows this answer. So here's how your charge card balances are reflected. They are the only thing reflected when it comes to your debt utilization. So your debt utilization is, basically taking what your balances are versus whatever your limits are. And so you get a percentage when you do that. So I always use the example of a $10,000 limit on your credit cards, but you owe $6,000. That's what your balances are. And it doesn't matter if it's over 4 cards, if it's over 10 cards, or if it's just one card. If you got $10,000 worth of limits and you owe $6,000, you take that $6,000 and you divide it by the $10,000. You're going to get 0.6000000, a bunch of zeros. So that means you take that 0.60, you're going to take that point and move it 2 places to the right. I feel like a math teacher. You're going to move it 2 places to the right. So you got 60%. That is your debt utilization percentage, is at 60%. Ideally, you want, and again, this is only dealing with your credit cards. So it doesn't matter what your quote unquote debt utilization is with your vehicle or with your home or with any other personal loan or student loan that you have. Only dealing with your credit cards when it comes to your credit score. So you're at 60% debt utilization. Ideally, you want to be at 30% or less. 30% is the highest that you want to be. So if you want to be at a 30% debt utilization with $10,000 worth of limits, then that means $3,000 or less is what you need to owe on your credit cards. All your credit cards combined, that's what you want to owe, $3,000 or less. And again, I don't emphasize this enough, that's the highest threshold where you want to be. That's where when you'll start to see your credit score change. It'll change for the better. It'll get positive. It'll get more points, if you will, on your credit score if you get to that 30% threshold or less. Again, if you go down to 25%, 15% down or 10%, then your credit score is actually going to get better when you're going down. 0 is perfect. That's where you want to be. 1, because it's going to help you with your debt. That's going to help you with your debt. And since we're talking about savings today, then that'll actually help you save more money. If you don't have to make $300 worth of credit card payments on a monthly basis, then you got $300 that you can save or use to get out of any additional debt that you might have anywhere else. So if you get down to 0, that's great. That's great. You're going to get a lot of points added to your credit score when you do that. So your debt utilization, when it comes to your credit card and credit card balances, is only going to be surrounding your credit cards, and you want to be at 30% or less. Again, 30% is on the higher end. That's like the threshold, the top number where you want to be. But then if you go down anywhere in between that, your credit score will increase and it'll improve your credit score. So, Earl, thank you so very much for contacting me. Like I said, he contacted me on LinkedIn. So you guys can catch me any and everywhere. Email me, 800creditscoreman@gmail.com with your questions. I will answer your question for you directly. We may have some back and forth, and then I may pick you to be a part of the 800 Credit Score Man Show family. And so, Earl, congratulations and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show family. All right, let's get back into the show, you guys. So I did a few shout outs. Let me give a couple more. And this is going to be the last ones before I finish out the show. I want to give a shout out to Shannon Hogan as well. Shannon Hogan is one of my frat brothers as well, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and from my chapter, the Alpha Chapter, Indiana University. So happy birthday to you, Shannon. And I got to give a shout out to Thomas Collins, and I call him Two Guns. You can figure that out yourself. But Tommy Two Guns Conley, so happy birthday to you, sir. All right, so let's get back into these savings tips for you guys. So we talked about, setting your goal, making it attainable, making it measurable for you, separating out that money so you don't have it in the same place. Then we get a chance to talk about automatically. Yes, we talked about saving it automatically too. So to pay yourself first, make sure you do that. Now, here's something that a lot of people are taking advantage of, and then at the same time, there's so many people that are not taking advantage of this, and that is your savings plans at work. So if you got a savings plan at work, if it's a 401k, if you're a school teacher and you have a different plan or what have you, if you're not participating in your work-sponsored 401k that, say, matches 50% on every dollar that you put in, you are simply leaving money on the table. If you don't understand how the 50 cent on every dollar that you put in works, then you need to contact your HR person, your benefits person, and have them explain that to you. But I'm going to give you a little tip on that today. So the savings that we talked about above, let's just take what we talked about earlier. So we had, we talked about having funds that you're saving yourself. You're going to save $500 a month. That's going to equal $6,000 at the end of the year for you. All right. If you're not taking advantage of this through your 401k when you're able to do so, then you're leaving free money. It's simply free money. It's just money that they're giving to you. You're leaving it on the table, and you're doing that on a monthly basis. So here's from the example that we talked about earlier. So if you were to save $6,000 a year at your, with using your 401k, and they match 50 cents on the dollar, at the end of that year, since you're getting 50 cents for every dollar you put in $6,000, they're going to put in $3,000. So that's $9,000 at the end of the year. That's $9,000. So if you want to set your goal at, I'm going to save $6,000 a year, and you decide I'm going to do it through this 401k, not only did you blow past it, you got a return of 50%. That's better. That's better than the vast majority of stock returns. I mean, the vast majority of stock returns. You got a 50% return simply by using that 401k. So if you're not involved in a 401k, I'm gonna say to you that you should go talk to your benefits manager, your HR manager, whoever it is, and talk to them about getting involved in your 401k, especially if they match. And if you are at a place that matches dollar for dollar, which I'm sure there's got to be somebody out there that's doing that still, if they're matching dollar for dollar and you save $6,000 at the end of the year, you'll have $12,000. that is a very, very good return, 100% return. So make sure that you do that. So when you're talking about savings, take advantage of that work program if you got a 401k at work, and get those savings. Don't leave that free money on the table. Some places, and this is why you got to talk to your benefits manager, some places they match that 50 cent on the dollar up to 3% of your salary, or up to 6% of your salary, whatever it may be for your company. But make sure that you go in and you see. And not all 401ks even match. You could have a 401k at your job and they don't match anything. It's a zero match at all. So it's just a savings vessel for you, and for you to be able to, look at the stocks or the mutual funds or what have you that you want to invest in. And so you want to make sure that you talk to HR or the benefits manager at your job to see how it works. If they are matching at all, 50%, or 50 cent on a dollar for dollar, then you need to get in that program if you've never been in that program. And I wasn't going to mention this at all, but since I'm talking about it, I will give you an example. So I worked at a place before, in my company that I was working for. I started with just 50 cents a paycheck. $50. I'm sorry. I started with $50 a paycheck. So I was like, okay, I get paid twice a month. So $100 a month, I'm gonna save $1,200 in the year. This is like my first job, my very, very first job. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew I needed to be saving some money. So I did that. I did it for a year. My company got purchased by somebody else. So it got purchased by somebody else. I stopped it. I don't know this new company. I didn't know if this new company was going to do good by me or do bad by me, fire me, lay me off or whatever. So I stopped it. I didn't touch that $1,200. We got purchased by this new company. The money actually went into, I think, primarily that company's stock and not like mutual funds and what have you. So I left that money alone. I did not invest in it anymore at all. That $1,200 turned into $10,000 in, say, 5 or 6 or 7 years. That $1,200 that I put in way back in the day that I forgot about, that it didn't bother me at all to give up $50 a paycheck, it turned into $10,000. When it turned into $10,000, then I moved that money around. I got rid of it. I was like, hey, I've made plenty of money off you guys, $8,800. I'll take that money and I'll run with it. So this is the kind of thing that you need to do. And especially, we talked about setting things up on automatic. You forget about it when it's on automatic. That's what companies rely on you doing. If you have an automatic subscription to some magazine that you actually never read, but automatically every year they just go ahead and charge you $50 so they can keep sending it to you, and you forget about it. And you swear up and down, I'm going to cancel it next time. I'm going to cancel it. And you just never do. So they get that $50. So it works for you and to your advantage if you forget about it and you have automatic savings set up for yourself. All right. So then let's jump to budgeting. Budgeting, yes, the B word. I've told you guys 100 times I hate budgeting, but budgeting as well will help you with your savings. So budgeting will help you know where your money is, where it's going, and it'll help you find more money for you to save. So budgeting is part of that too. And if you don't know where to start, I'm going to tell you to attend this financial seminar that I'm a part of on March 24th at the Eola Center in Aurora, Illinois. Come by there. Starts at 10 o'clock. Should be over at 1. Come by there. This financial wellness seminar that's being sponsored by Living Purpose Church right out of Aurora, Illinois. Budget Bailey is what I call her. She'll be giving you everything that you need. Everything you need. Her name is Latasha Bailey. She'll be giving you everything that you need to get started in the right direction for your budget. And if you can't attend, if you can't make it, but you should, but if you can't make it, because we're going to be talking about credit, that's what I'm going to be talking about, and we're going to be talking about mortgages as well. But if you can't make it, then Google budgeting. Just go ahead and do a simple Google search. There are so many really good forms on there that you can print out, you can start writing on for your budget as well, and a lot of articles to read. So budgeting too will help you with your savings, because then you'll see where your money is, where it's going, where you can pull back here or pull back there. You'll be able to get some of that extra money and then go ahead and start saving it the places that you want to save it. So last couple of things. Save your loose change. I know it might sound crazy. It's a commercial. I've seen it for years. This guy talking about, at the end of the night, he puts his, loose change in a jar. It's probably a life insurance commercial. But save your loose change. I do this religiously. religiously. I save my loose change, and it's not for me. It's for my kids. It is for my kids, and I've been doing it. So